Hello again, this is Will Brooks. In this video, we will learn how to add hyperlinks and subpages to our web page. I will have a timestamp in the description below so you can easily navigate to where you want to go. Please subscribe and like this video so I can continue to make more of them. Feel free to leave a comment below as well. Let's start coding!
Okay, first we're going to open a new page in Replit and call it Miyagi's Noodle Shop. On the iPad, it's to the top left in the blue rectangle. I'm going to push that. And we're going to use HTML, CSS, JS. And then we're going to change the name here and we're going to change it to Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Okay, and then we're going to leave it public and we're going to hit create Replit. Okay, well, let's wait for it. It's coming soon. Here it comes. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to go over this part fairly quickly because the point of this video is to introduce hyperlinks and subpages. If you want to skip this part and go straight to the hyperlink and subpage section, you can look at the timestamp in the description below and jump right to those parts. So first we're going to go down to line 6 and we're going to change the title, and I'm going to change that to, again, Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Miyagi's Noodle Shop. I love noodle soup. Okay, and then we're going to go to the body, and we're gonna, like I said, we're going to go fairly quickly. We're going to go to the body and we're going to do H1, and we're going to put the heading here. Let's put a tag here. Okay, H1, let's close that, and then let's hit return, and we're going to call this, of course, Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Miyagi's Noodle Shop. Perfect. Now let's go and let's create toppings because we want toppings for this. So we're going to go and do an H2 because we want a smaller size font. And we're going to call this toppings. So let's hit return and let's call this toppings. And we're just going to add 2 toppings here because for the time period, I'm going to hit return. And this time we're going to do P for paragraph because we want an even smaller font. So P, let's close that. And then let's hit return. Okay. And then we're going to start with number 1 will be bean sprouts. And bean sprouts. And then we're going to say that's going to cost $1.50. And number 2, we're going to go with my favorite, roast pork. Yum. Roast pork. And we're going to say that's a little bit more money. And we'll say that's $3. Okay, great. So now let's run that. Oh, let's hit a break here so we can separate the lines. So let's do break. BR. Let's close that. And then let's do break here. Okay, BR, let's close that. Great, and now let's run it. And perfect. Okay, now let's quickly go to CSS. Let's style this just a little bit. And we're going to go to body, and we're going to do, let's see, body. And we're going to hit space, and then we need a curly bracket, return. And on the body, we're going to do color, and we're going to do color, and let's do color property, and let's say blue. And then let's do background color, background property, and we're going to say that's, let's say yellow, very bright. Good, yellow, good. Okay, now let's go to, let's align the text there in H1. So we're going to go H1 and then text align. H1, oh, we need the curly bracket, come on, good, return. And then let's go text align. And we're going to say center because we want to center that. And then let's keep that at blue, and then let's go to H2 and toppings, where it says toppings there, and I just want to make that, let's make that red. Let's do the curly bracket, return, so it closes the curly bracket, and let's say color is red. And then one last thing, let's make the toppings color black, so we're going to do P space curly bracket, return, and let's say black. Let's color that color property, and let's call that black, and let's see what we look like here. Okay, let's hit run in the top, and perfect. So Miyagi's Noodle Shop toppings bean sprouts and roast pork. I like it. We're going to stick with that. Okay, so now we're going to add hyperlinks and subpages. First, we want to create a hyperlink to another page. I would like bean sprouts and roast pork to go to their own separate subpage. Let's start with bean sprouts. We first have to create a subpage. So let's go to the top left where it says add files, and I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I'm going to type in bean sprouts. Okay, bean sprouts. And then make sure you add .html at the end. That's very important. That states that it's an HTML document. So I added that bean sprouts. So if you look at the top there, above number 1, it says beansprouts.html. We know that's an HTML document. Now you can see that's empty right there. So what we need to do next is, if we go back to the index.html, we have to copy everything from line 1 down to line 22. And the only thing we're going to leave out really would be the H1, H2, and the paragraph. So you can copy and paste that, or if you're a beginner, I would recommend you going to the bean sprout HTML page, the subpage, and actually typing it out, because that would be more beneficial to learn at first. So let's do that right now. Now you can see that we copied everything or typed out everything from the index.html page to the bean sprouts page, creating the subpage. Okay, the only thing we didn't put in there at the bottom was was number 11, 12, 13, the body. I took everything out of the body and just left the script tag, that's all. But everything else from 1 to 9 is the same, 1 to 10 rather. So now, we're in the beansprouts.html page, the subpage. We're going to change the title, line number 7, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to change the title right here, and we're going to call it Bean Sprouts subpage. So let's go bean sprouts, and we're going to call this subpage. Okay, that's all we're going to do right now, is going to call it bean sprouts subpage. Okay, so next we're going to go back to the index.html page, and we're going to link this page to the new page which we just created, which is the beansprouts.html page. And in order to do that, we need to create a hyperlink. I am stepping out of Replit for a second to explain about hyperlinks. I want to compare it to the head and body tags because it's a little bit different. When you create a head or body tag, you have an opening tag and a closing tag like this. And let's just do that really fast. Head, let's close that, and then that's the opening tag, okay? And let's do the closing tag. Obviously it's very similar, except you have the /, type in head, and then let's put that bracket there. So you have the opening tag and the closing tag. It's the same thing with the body. It's the same thing with H1 as well. So if we want to do the body, we can just show it real fast, the body, and then we have the closing tag, and then let's go opening tag rather, and then let's get to the closing tag / body. Okay, now let's look at the hyperlink tag, and we're going to create it the same way initially. So we're going to do that, and then we'll call it the A tag for the hyperlink tag. Okay, that's the opening tag right there, and let's go back and let's do the closing tag. Okay, so let's do this / A, and let's close that. So basically you have the opening tag for the hyperlink tag and the closing tag. Now there's going to be a little bit of a difference. So you actually have to add an attribute into the opening hyperlink tag which tells it where to go. So let's go hit return again, and so let's go back up here and I'll show you what I mean. So we do that again, and we do A, but this time we do space, and we're going to type in href. Now href is an attribute which tells the thing that you write next what page to go to or where to go. So now don't forget, you need the equal sign, and then we need the quotation sign. So anything in the quotation sign is going to be where it's going to link to. Now we're going to link it to beansprouts.html, that subpage we created. So you have to spell it exactly the way it looks. So there was a capital B, capital S, beansprouts.html. If you make a mistake on spelling, it's not going to link it. So you want to check that if it doesn't go to the link. And then we have to hit close quotation marks. And then we want to close that. So basically that's your opening tag. So for example, if we look back to the head, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there at all. It's just head, it's closed. That's it. That's your opening tag, body, opening tag. So now, after you have the opening tag of the A tag, whatever comes next is going to be underlined on your website, and that's going to facilitate the link, okay? That you click on that and that'll go to the next page. So in our case, we're going to put bean sprouts. Okay, bean sprouts, that's going to be underlined, and then you click that and that'll go to your linked page. And then we want to close this. So we want to go here, we want to /A, and we want to close that. And basically that's what it looks like. That is what your hyperlink tag looks like. So your opening is a little bit longer tag than your head or body. And in between the opening tag and the closing tag, you put in the bean sprouts. That's going to be your link right there to the next page. So we're going to go back now to our code and create the link. And now you'll see what it's going to look like in the code. Now let's add the hyperlink tag so we can link the index.html file to the bean sprouts file. So we have to go down to line 18, and we're going to click just before the bean sprouts. Let me pull that up so you can see it. And we're going to do the less than sign, and then we need the A space, and then we're going to click on href, that is the attribute, space, and then we're going to do equals, and then we need the quotation sign. So now we need to spell it just the way it is, BEAN, capital SPROUTS .html, close the quotation, and now we have to close the opening tag with a greater than sign. Okay, now you notice that in Replit, which is a great thing a lot of times, they automatically, once I close that, they automatically have a closing tag. I don't want the closing tag there, so I'm going to delete that part right there. I want to put the closing tag after bean sprouts because I want bean sprouts to be highlighted, underlined, so we can click there. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to make a closing tag right there. Then let's go /A, and then let's close that. Great. So that should be good. So we've got, let's see, look at line 18, number 1. We've got the less than A space href equals beansprouts.html. That's got to be spelled correctly, otherwise it won't go to that link. And then we close that, and then now we have got bean sprouts in between the opening tag and closing tag. That's going to be underlined in blue. And then we have the closing tag. Okay, so let's run that and see what it looks like. See, bean sprouts is underlined. We click on bean sprouts there, and it links us to the the beansprouts.html tag. Now we don't have anything written there, so we have to add some text there. I want to show you one more thing before we go to beansprouts and link this and put text in the beansprouts.html. Now the ending tag is right after beansprouts. That's why it's underlined. That's the link text. So if we move that to where the $50 is, and we're going to close this with a there and A, and let's close it. Okay, so now we closed the hyperlink tag after the $50 on line 18. You see there, I'm going to run it, and you'll see that the link text now is not just bean sprouts, but it's $50, which still does the same thing, but I just don't want it to be over the $50. So I'm going to take that out and just move it back to right after the bean sprouts. So let's put that back in, and then let's see right there. Let's do that. And so our link text is bean sprouts, which I want. Okay, next we're going to put in text into the beansprouts.html. There's no text. You see the numbers line to number 11, 12, and 13. There's no text there, so even though we link back there, there's nothing that's going to show. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We are now in the beansprouts.html page. We need to go down to line number 1, the body. Let's click on that, and then let's hit return. And so we're going to put this in H1. The reason I want to put this in H1 is because I want it to be a bigger size font. So H1, let's close that, and then we're going to hit return. So close that, return. So let's put in, I'm going to put in obviously bean sprouts. And then bean sprouts, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a break here because I want the line to break, because I want the next thing to go underneath it. So break is BR, and then I'm gonna hit return, and then I'm gonna put $1.50 because that's what it's gonna cost for the topping, $1.50. And let's just put another break here. Great. Okay, good. So just one more thing to note. H1, if we remember in the style sheet, I'm going to click on the style sheet.css. So H1, line 6, text align center. So that's actually going to align it into the center. If I did H2, it would be left side in red, but it's going to be H1, so it's going to be blue, and it's going to be aligned in center. So let's run that, and let's see. So bean sprouts, let's click on this. And ta-da! Bean sprouts right there. Bean sprouts, $1.50 right in the center. Like I said, if we want to go back to the bean sprouts, if we change this to, instead of H1, we change this to H2, change the bottom to H2, we can take a look at what that will do. So it should change it to red. Let's run that. Okay, and let's hit bean sprouts. And notice how it goes to the left, it's left centered, and then it's $1.50. And it's in red, okay? So, and it's a smaller font. So I don't want that. I want, if you go to script, again, style.css, I want to keep it in the H1 because it says text align center, and it's going to be H1 has that bigger font. So let's go back to this once more, and let's change that H2 to H1. And let's do that again here, H1. Let's run that once more and show that it's gone back. Perfect. Bean sprouts, it's blue, it's centered, it's the bigger font, it's $1.50. So we are going to do the same thing with roast pork, but I just wanted to let you know, if you want to move ahead in this video and go to the next section where we are going to create a back to home page button, which will lead us from the linked page back to the home page, please look in the timestamp below and you can go directly there. If not, you can see how we do the roast pork again, how we did the bean sprouts. It won't take too much time. Let's go back and do that to our roast pork. So remember, we got to do the roast pork. Let's bring that up there. So we have to do the A tag there, and then space href equals. Oh, you know what? We need to create the subpage first. We need to create, but I know what the subpage is going to be. So let's just do the quotation. It's going to be roast pork. So let's just do roast, R-O-A-S-T, and let's do capital P and then O-R-K. Even though we don't have that subpage yet, HTML. Let's close that there, and let's close the opening tag, right? Close the opening tag, and then let's get rid of that. Remember that Replit always, a lot of times, has the closing tag right after that. We don't need that because we don't want it to close right there. Roast pork is what we're going to see, just like you see bean sprouts over there. And then we're going to do the closing tag right now, /A, and then right there. And that'll be our closing tag right there. So let's run that. It's not going to do anything, but it will underline roast pork, even though there's nothing to link it to because we have not created the subpage yet. So when you click on that, not found because we haven't created the subpage, right? So let's quickly create the subpage. Remember, we go to File, Add a File. And then we click on, I'm going to put roast pork .html, return, bingo, we got roast pork.html, that's our subpage. And then remember, we go back to our index and type in the information or copy and paste all the information from here to there. We're going to do that right now. Now you can see, again, we went from the index.html, basically copied and pasted, I actually typed it out, the information to the roast pork subpage. So now we're on the roast pork subpage. We've got to change the title on line 7 to roast pork subpage. Roast pork subpage. And then once more, we have to go to the body. And we have to add H1. Let's close that. Return. And then we're going to do roast pork. This is what it's going to link to, the roast pork. And we're going to do a break because we want the $3 to go underneath it. So we're going to do BR, meaning it's going to be a break in the page. Return. And then we're going to do $1. Well, $1. Well, no, it's $3. It's $3. And then space. Let's do another break there. BR. Okay, good. So now let's hit run. And let's go to roast pork. And voila. One last thing is, now we're at roast pork, but how do we go back to the index? How do we go back to the other page? You know, we want to hit the back button. So I will show you. Let's look in roast pork. So we go down to the body again, and where it says H1 there, the closing of H1, we're going to hit return. And we're going to do this in the paragraph one, because the font is smaller. So we're going to hit the tag there. We're going to make a tag for P. Okay, good. Let's close that there. That's the opening tag. Let's return. So now we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to have to create the hyperlink tag back to the index tag. So let's go to here, and let's put the A tag space. Remember, it's href. We can do the href attribute, click on there. So in here now, after href, which is the href attribute, we got to put in not roast pork, but we got to do index.html, because that's what our first page is called, index.html. Let's close our opening tag there. Now, instead of saying roast pork or bean sprouts, we want to say, let's say, back to home page, and then we have the closing tag right there. So notice how we have that under the P, because we want the smaller font. It's going to align to the left, and then it says href equals index.html. That's going to reference back to the other page we have. And the next after that, after the opening tag, back to home page is what's going to be written. And then, so let's run this. Let's go to roast pork. Ta-da! Back to home page. How's that? Let's click on back to home page. Whoa, let's go back again. Once more. Perfect. Now, bean sprouts, we don't have that there, but you know how to do it. I don't want this video to be longer than it is, so just create that for bean sprouts. You can see how to do it right here. Thank you so much for watching. My next video is going to show you how to link pictures and images in, so we can have a picture of bean sprouts or a picture of roast pork, which would be really, really cool. Thanks again for watching, and see you in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. Goodbye.